Sometimes you want to be an expert, but then you become unprofessional.
Round one.
Welcome back, fight fans, cats, snakes, chickens, ducks, twerkers, elderly people. I present to you the unprofessional expert, and I am JMC. Go ahead, tell a friend to tell a grandma to share it with their auntie. We are on socials, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. Go ahead, like, follow, and subscribe, because if you do not, I will fight you in real life. Let's jump right into some fight previews. Exciting fights in the heavyweight division. The big guys are back. The little guys ran the game for a while due to the likes of the TBE, the best ever, Floyd Money Mayweather. Made a lot of money for those little guys, the lightweight, welterweight division. But now the big boys are back. Couple of big cards happening down in Saudi Arabia. Shout out to those guys and what they are doing there. Starting with the preview of Fury, the Gypsy King versus Alexander Usyk. I really like this matchup, but for me, Usyk just showed a soft body in his last fight against Daniel Dubois. He got hurt to the midsection. They ruled it a low blow. Now, I know Tyson Fury typically doesn't go to the body, but it seems like something that him and his camp should just focus on, really work on throughout this training camp for that matchup to make sure that he can exploit that soft midsection that Usyk has. If he's able to do so, I think he can come out victorious. Usyk would definitely try and box, move around, get on the inside, but I do think that Tyson Fury has shown the ability to adjust, and he won't allow Usyk to outbox him. Should be a great matchup, but I actually like Tyson Fury. That would be my prediction. Moving on to another, what could be an instant classic matchup, Anthony Joshua versus Francis Ngannou. Now, I really don't care for those crossover boxing MMA matchups. What do you think about it? Go ahead, drop a comment if you are on YouTube. Let us know what you think about those crossover fights. But I will make an exception for this one because I do think that Francis Ngannou packs a power punch. He tapped Fury on the temple. Fury dropped like a toddler throwing a temper tantrum. So I think that Anthony Joshua also has to fight an extremely perfect fight. He can't get touched. He also can risk getting dropped, getting knocked out, getting stretchered out of that matchup. So hopefully Anthony Joshua plays it safe, uses the ring, he boxes, he keeps Ngannou on the outside. He doesn't get his chin broken in that matchup. I like both guys, but I am going for the upset. Let's say that Francis Ngannou pulls that one out. The co-feature on that card should be Zhilei Zhang versus Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker put on a great showing against Deontay, the Bronze Bomber Wilder. Deontay moved around, tried to use his jab. He never exploded, didn't deliver those bombs, didn't drop that right hand. He looked awkward. Joseph Parker took his time. He moved well. He outboxed Wilder perfectly. He even hurt Wilder and almost stopped him in that 8th round. Zhilei Zhang is powerful. He's got a thudding punch. He's a little bit flat-footed, but I think that won't matter against Joseph Parker. These big guys can really punch. I like both guys in that matchup. I think that's a win-win. Maybe a toss-up for either fighter, but I had to pick. I'm just going to go ahead and say Joseph Parker, just riding off that momentum for that big fight that he had against Deontay Wilder. So just a couple of those big matchups that are upcoming in the heavyweight division. As those fights are happening, go ahead and check out the fight schedule. I just recently dropped the fight schedule online on the socials, so check those out. Just to give a quick recap of what's on that fight schedule, we have Jaime Munguia coming up against John Ryder. That is happening January 27th, live on DAZN. We've got Teofimo Lopez versus Jermaine Ortiz for the WBO Super Lightweight Championship with the co-feature of Keyshawn Davis and Jose Pedraza. That should be on ESPN, maybe ESPN Plus. I did also already mention Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk. That is February 17th, also streamed live on the DAZN app. March 8th, that Anthony Joshua and Ngannou with that co-feature of Zhilei Zhang and Joseph Parker. May 12th in the springtime, just before the summer, we've got Vasily Lomachenko versus George Kambosos. Lomachenko was recently on pound for pound list. He was recently that guy of the division. He had a rough year last year, a couple of losses. He's fighting what I deem to be a tier 3 fighter in Kambosos. He had the night of his life to beat Teofimo Lopez, but he just has not been able to strike lightning since. Lomachenko should be victorious in that matchup. Not much to worry about with Kambosos. I do believe that is a championship fight as well, so that gets Lomachenko back on those pound for pound lists. That should be an exciting scrap. I don't see why Lomachenko won't beat him. Last but not least, my final topic of the day. We need to talk about this more. It is not talked about enough in the boxing community. But there are fighters who are protected. And what I mean by that is there are guys who have great records. They get a lot of clout, a lot of respect, but they're just not fighting the guys that they should be fighting. They're not matching up against the elites of the division. So those records look great. The stats look great. But we got to talk about who they are fighting. So I just talked about Jaime Munguia, his upcoming matchup with John Ryder. Even though John Ryder is a step up in competition, he's still not elite level talent. No disrespect. But Jaime Munguia has been a champion for the better part of 6 years. He's had over 40 professional fights, and he has not fought anybody with a huge name. I mean, maybe Gabriel Rosada, maybe Sergey Devryanchenko. But where are the big guys? He declined fights in the past against Triple G and Canelo, stating that he just wasn't ready. I don't like that. It's time for him to go ahead and step up. If I'm wrong, go ahead, drop a comment, tell me what you think about Jaime Munguia and his career, and be sure to check him out in his upcoming matchup. Some other guys that I think really need to step up, talking about Edgar Berlanga of Top Rank, power puncher. All the fans come out, the celebrities come out for his fights, but I do think that he will get exposed once he actually fights someone that can fight him back. Let's do something about that, Edgar Berlanga. Let's get you matched up with another heavy hitter. Last but not least, on my fighters that are most protected in boxing, I have Joshua Buatsi of Matchroom. Each time he fights, it's supposed to be a step up in competition, but it's just another tomato can dressed up as a prize fighter. I want to see more out of Joshua Buatsi. I actually think he has a lot of potential. So let's see what he can do in the stacked light heavyweight division. With that being said, just a quick overview of everything that is currently happening in boxing. Go ahead, like, follow, subscribe, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Tell a friend to tell an auntie, to tell a best friend, because if you do not, we will glove up and we will fight each other. Once again, like, follow, subscribe. This is JMC, and I am the unprofessional expert. Until next time.